What if I told you that the real guy that Dracula was based on was so much worse than any vampire in any movie you've ever seen? It's not just that he killed upwards of 80,000 people, but how he killed them that is so horrifying. After learning that his father was killed by 200 of his own noblemen, Vlad III, or Vlad Dracula, basically embarked on a lifelong revenge fever dream.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Rather than just stabbing or exiling those noblemen like a normal person, he invited them all to a luscious banquet and then took a bunch of wooden spikes and impaled them. Hence, he was known as Vlad the Impaler. So first the townspeople were like, whatever, we didn't even like those guys anyway. But then, in order to get rid of poverty, he invited all the beggars to a grand feast, after which he locked the doors and burned down the entire building they were dining in, as well as, of course, all the people inside. And this was how he brought order to Wallachia, instituting an authoritarian government ruled by fear. And what made his rule even more horrifying as he continued to impale a lot of people is that he was celebrated by people like the Pope and other rulers for defending Christian Europe against the Muslim Ottomans. That defense very often looked like burning and pillaging Romania's own villages.
I'm pillaging everyone, you included.
Pouring sewage into the water in order to poison it and killing men, women, and children by the thousands. Because he, and the Pope by extension, would rather literally commit genocide against their own people and also literally scorch the earth than have them be ruled by the Ottomans. But not only was Dracula a sadistic war criminal who was rumored to have dined among and maybe even on his many, many impaled corpses.
My God, he's dipping his bread in the blood of his victims. And he's eating it.
He was also a terrorist. There's one moment when Sultan Mehmed II comes back to battle with him over Wallachia again, and he and his forces see what they think is a line of trees, the edge of a forest. But as they get closer, they find that it's actually 20,000 impaled corpses. They turned around and went home. Apparently, Mehmed just didn't want to with a man who had such a diabolical understanding of how to govern his realm and his people. This is what makes the true story of Dracula so terrifying. Since then, there has always been people who have shrugged their shoulders and said, yeah, he's a sicko, but he brought order to Wallachia and he kept Romania from becoming Muslim. And so for some, he became a kind of hero. And some say an embodiment of an authoritarian mindset that would be revived again and again over the centuries by many Romanian politicians.